The Sound of Metal is a new Amazon original film starring Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cook. Now, this is one I was looking forward to. Now, I know this is a horror channel and this is a drama and whatnot, but I just watched this last night and I want to talk about it really quick. I won't waste too much time here. I was really looking forward to this one. I really like the movie Whiplash, a whole bunch. I think it's phenomenal, and that's about a drummer. But this one has a little bit different of a spin. So in Whiplash, the kid is this drummer who wants to play like the perfect set and impress his music teacher, and he pushes himself to these extraordinary lengths to do this. It's a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, please go watch that. As to where with this one, this is a metal drummer who is losing his hearing, and it's about his journey of exploring life after death. That joke genuinely just came out of me right as I said it, and that's fucking awesome. Life after death. Wow. Man, that should have been the fucking tagline, and I literally just came up with it. Anyway, so he is losing his hearing. It's progressively getting worse very, very quick. And he is not taking it well, to say the least. And so his girlfriend, played by the beautiful, wonderful Olivia Cook, is very adamant that he's going to go to this like rehab for deaf people or people with like disabilities, like deafness and blindness. And while he's there, he's kind of fighting against it, and he wants to get this operation so he can hear again. But they're trying to like teach him how to accept his, you know, disability and this and that. This movie was an absolute disappointment for me. It's crazy to me because this has got such high ratings and it looks so good and it looked like such a film that I was going to enjoy. But man, I didn't like this movie very much. I will say this though. The acting is very good, as expected, and also the sound design for his disability, for his deafness, is great. I think as like if we were to focus primarily on the sound design of like putting us in the shoes or in the ears of our character at times and really kind of showing us the horror of having something like this happen to you. Yeah, I mean, that works, and that's very effective. Unfortunately, very little else is effective to me. The problem I had with the film was constant questionable character decisions. Now, when I say character decisions, I don't mean like, oh, that's unbelievable. It was more of like, why? Why would he do this? Why would she do this? Why would this guy do this? There's multiple things that happened in the movie that I yet again, like I did with Black Bear, I watched this with the same person and I kept looking over at her and being like, why the fuck would they do this? Like, did I miss something? I mean, I was paying very close attention the entire time. And I was so unbelievably confused. Like, everything felt so uneventful. Like, the film was too realistic for its own good. Like, I just kept thinking, like, oh, okay, something's going to come of this. And it really didn't. I just never felt like the film really peaked in any of the things that it was setting up. Like this place that he goes, he has this interaction with the guy who runs the place towards the end of his stay there, or at the end of his stay there, and I just didn't understand it at all. I didn't understand his girlfriend's decision when she found out about what happened to him, and then she decides to do something, and I was like, why would she do this? I don't. And then she has like no interaction with him for like the rest of the movie, basically. Like, none of this stuff made any sense to me. And it was frustrating me because I felt like there was so much potential in all of these areas. Like, I felt like the girlfriend needed interaction with him. Now, I guess this is supposed to be his journey, right? We're really just focused on him and him alone. But he's a deaf guy who's kind of walking around and pissed off about it. And that can only go so far. And his interactions with people in this film are extremely limited. I don't feel a connection with almost anybody in the film. This is the film's biggest downfall for me. His connection with his girlfriend is very short-lived. She's probably in the movie 15, 20 minutes. So their interactions to like really sell me on that love and sell me on their desire to be back together, or like if there's heartbreak that I would feel that, or if there's like this joyous moment where they like rekindle the fire and I'd care about that. Whatever ends up happening, I'm not feeling it because there's just not enough time spent with them, and there's not enough interaction throughout the movie to remind us of their love for one another and their desire to be together. There's little bits injected. I mean, very, very small things. Checking emails, stuff like that. It is so unexplored for me. So I had no connection. Then the guy who runs the place, same thing. I feel like his interactions with him are so short-lived that I never really felt like there was some kind of mentoring going on there, that he looked at him as like some father figure or some dude that was trying to help him. Like, I just didn't get that feel. Then he befriends someone in the place that he's at, and their interactions is extremely limited. And when he asks this person to do something for him, it just kind of hard cuts and we never see them again. So there's no like, there's no moment where they like celebrate or have a hardship or anything. So there's no progression to that story. Then when he gets to kind of his ultimate goal, that's very like sad, but also kind of ho-hum, because I don't feel like it truly amounts to much in the end. I mean, you can take from what you want of this film, and I think there's stuff to be taken from it for sure. Like, I can watch this movie and be like, oh, this is sad that this happened, and I can kind of fill in my own blanks. But when I watch a film like this that's supposed to be so character driven, I feel like the blanks should be filled in for me a little bit more so that I'm more emotionally attached and available, and just that, none of that stuff worked for me. And I just found the film to be dreadfully paced. I was bored a lot, and I could not believe this. I thought, and another thing, like, I felt like the progression of his deafness came on way too fast. Like, we didn't really get to see his love, because the whole movie is basically based around his love for music and the love for his girlfriend. We already talked about the girlfriend and how that didn't work for me much. There's some going on there. They wake up in the morning, they dance, stuff like that, and it's like, oh, okay, I could see they're about each other, and then they have like a talk before she gets into a car, and there's something going on there too, but then it's kind of just, pushed aside and not talked about again for almost the rest of the film. So it's just like, huh? But anyways, that being said, the music side of things, this is another issue I had, where I don't feel like we got enough time spent with him as a musician. I wanted to see more of his love for the craft, more of like how his hearing has started to go, and he's like pushing through it, and they're doing more gigs, and it keeps getting worse, and maybe he's fucking up on the drums, and then the band is getting like, what the fuck, and he's trying to hide it, and you know what I mean? Like, there's none of that. It just kind of happens, and then they're just done, and that didn't work for me. Like, I really needed for that, like, love and appreciation for his craft, and the loss of that thing coming on later. Like, he looks like a rocker, and he's playing rock music in the beginning, and there's posters that are like on his wall that show that he's been a rocker for a while. So like, that's supposed to sell us on the fact that he loves music. So I get it, but I'm not buying it. You gotta show me how fucking dedicated he is to his music. You gotta show me how much love and how much talent that he has. Like, showcase what an amazing drummer he is. We get very little interaction with that. I see very little drumming going on in the movie. Sell me on that shit. Like when I watch La La Land, speaking of Whiplash, same director, Damien Chazelle, I very much believe and am completely immersed in Sebastian's love for jazz. This is explored as well as any fucking like love and appreciation for pretty much anything you could ever have love and appreciation for in a movie. The way he explores Sebastian's love for jazz is fucking perfect. I know the stakes. I know how bad he wants his nightclub. I know how obsessive compulsive he is about getting notes right. I understand that no matter what, nobody's going to tell him he can't play what he wants to play. He'll lose his fucking job time and time again to make sure that he stays true to what he believes is his musical craft and that he is there to keep jazz alive. I feel that throughout the entirety of La La Land. The love that this guy has for drumming, I get that I'm supposed to buy that, but I never do. Like I buy it because the movie presents it that way. Like I obviously know he's a drummer but I'm not attached to it. Look how much I just told you about Sebastian. That's not even everything. That's not even everything. There's so much more to that. But with this film, what? He wants to play even though he's going deaf and the doctor says it's going to hurt his ears. So he continues to try to play on one show after that. That's it. That's it. That's the interaction with his music career. I feel like I'm obviously not going to put spoiler free review at this point. I feel like I've given some things away. I feel like I've kept it vague enough. Maybe not. So, you know, I should put something like spoilers, slight spoilers, whatever. Anyways, so yeah, clearly 12 minutes, a little longer than I had expected, but whatever. I didn't like the movie, and that is a shame because I was really, really looking forward to it. So, yeah, oh well, that's a shame. Adios.